Hi, I'm Patrick Brown, and I'm going to be your instructor for Anatomy and Physiology 1. I'm really sorry I can't be there to do this little introduction in person, but unfortunately for the first couple days of class, I'm going to be at a teaching workshop in St. Louis, Missouri. So I do apologize. That being said, we're going to be able to put our first couple days online. You can, through a series of videos and activities, pretty much stay caught up, and then we'll be able to review and go over things when I come back, and I really don't think it's going to get us too far behind. So what I'm going to do in this video is go over the syllabus and kind of give you an idea of what the course will entail. And then I'm going to have another video up for you guys that shows you about our online learning systems. We're going to use not only D2L a great deal, but there is an online learning system called Mastering Anatomy and Physiology that comes with your textbook if you bought it new. If you bought your textbook used, you will have to purchase this separately. If you haven't bought a textbook yet, you can just buy the online learning system with an e-text, which is good for, I think, 2 years of subscription access to all of the content, and I think it's about $110, and you would have the book electronically as well as all of the online learning stuff. I'll show you all that in this next video, but that's really the best bargain, especially if you have a tablet or a smartphone with a pretty big screen. You won't have to carry that big heavy book to class. You will need the book pretty much every day in class, so if you were thinking this is one of those classes where you can get by without it, I'm afraid it isn't. You're going to be looking stuff up, you're going to be referring to the book, especially in lab, so you are going to need that. So what I'm going to do right now is switch my video input to my screen and walk you through some of the aspects of the syllabus, kind of essentially give it a quick frequently asked questions reply to all of the course content. So we're going to switch over to my screen now and learn a little bit about the syllabus.
So here's our syllabus. It's pretty standard actually, but I just want to go over some of, you can print it out and read it, but there are some questions that people might have, so I just real quickly want to go over those things so that we don't have anything come up later on. So the first thing, of course, all of my contact information is on here, so as well as the link to the YouTube channel where you can find this video and others that will be helpful to you throughout the semester. There is our textbook, and then we have a little bit more here about Desire to Learn, or D2L. For those of you who are returning ETSU students, you're probably very familiar with D2L, and the subsequent video will show you where to find all of this content. I have really tried my best to make sure that you guys have access to as much material as possible to help you master the content for this course. It's very important to me that you learn, and so I'm going to do a whole lot both in class and making materials available to you out of class to help you do that. Now, the other component to the course, this is where you'll find all of your homework. This is where you'll find all of your quizzes, as well as lab stuff, practice materials. So anything that I didn't generate that was generated by the publisher of your book is going to be through Mastering A&P. And in the next video, I will, in addition to showing you some stuff about where to find things in D2L, show you where to go to purchase Mastering A&P if you haven't bought the book brand new. And I'm also going to show you what's in Mastering and kind of how to get around in there. Okay, now you'll notice right here that it says learning outcomes. Rather than provide very broad general outcomes that don't matter to you guys, what I have done is come up with a set of outcomes. Essentially, what do I want you to know when we finish each individual unit? And in addition to a block of vocabulary, that essentially gets turned into a study guide. So for each chapter or each module that we'll do, there is a study guide that tells you exactly what I want you to know. There will never be a question on an exam that does not come from these study guides. So these are your friends. This is what I want you to know. So before you ever ask me, hey, do we need to know X, Y, or Z? Check the study guide. If it's not on there, then no, you don't need to know it. If it's on there, even if we never mentioned it in class, you still need to know it. There are going to be a couple of things that I'm going to trust that you are smart enough and bright enough to learn just from reading it in your textbook or something. Okay, now at the end of the course, you will have had the opportunity to earn about 1,000 points. I say about because there's actually some little extra credit assignments in there, so it's theoretically possible to earn more than 1,000 points. And so this is how the grades will be assigned. If you end the semester with somewhere between 800 and 824 points, you will be assigned a B- grade for the class. Now, because the course is cumulative, meaning that I don't average anything, I just add up the points at the end, one of the nice things about the Mastering A&P website that you guys are going to be using is that it will keep a rolling average and tell you, okay, of the material we've had so far, how you're doing in the class. Now, I give you lots of opportunities to show me how well you know the material. So there are going to be 4 lecture exams throughout the course. We'll do one a week in the summer course. Each one of these is worth 100 points. There are also going to be 3 lab exams. This is where going to show me especially how much of the anatomy you know. Do you know the name of this bone and this muscle and what it does, etc. Additionally, we're going to have 16 in-class what we call Pogil assignments, and I'll talk about Pogil a little bit more in a minute. You do have to be in class to get the points on these, except for the first 2, which you're going to be doing on your own as part of our 2-day delay in beginning. But essentially, if you do all of these, that'll earn you another 80 points. There are 27 mastering assignments, including chapter quizzes. So all of this plus a cumulative final exam adds up to 1,000 points. So lots of opportunities, but I want you to pay careful attention to these 2 pieces right here. Fully 30% of your grade is really based on showing up and doing your work. So it's hard to make an A in this class. It's a difficult course, but it's also really hard to fail this class because I really do try to give you as many opportunities as you can to show me that you know the material and that you can think in the way that we want you to think. All right. Now, each regular lecture exam is going to be 50 multiple choice questions. These questions are going to, as closely as possible, mirror the style and format that you would see on licensure exams and graduate entrance exams and things like that. I'm trying to prepare you to take a particular kind of test that will help you out later on in your academic and in your career. The final exam is twice as long. It's 100 questions, but only 75% of it is cumulative. The other 25% will come from our last unit of lecture, which will be on the endocrine system. Okay, lab exams are practical exams. They're going to be during regular lab time, regular lab room. These are non-cumulative, so each one just covers about a third of what we're going to do in lab. Now, starting on Wednesday, June the 4th, we'll actually start meeting in person, and when we do that, we're going to be spending a lot of our time doing Pogil activities. Pogil is an acronym for Process-Oriented Guided Inquiry Learning, and it's actually a Pogil workshop that is keeping me from being there for your first 2 days of class. I'm in St. Louis working with other people involved in the nationwide and actually international Pogil project to make this kind of learning available to more people in more disciplines. So you'll get more of a hang of Pogil when we get in class. You're going to do a couple of them on your own, but it's not the same on your own as it is working with your classmates. And you do have to be present to get the credit for those Pogil activities. If, however, you have to miss some days of class, obviously that would be rather hypocritical of me to penalize you too hard. So if you do the Pogil activities outside of class, you can still earn most of the points back on each one. So I rarely have people who make below a B in their Pogil score. All right. This other stuff on here is pretty standard. It's all stuff that's just required by the university. So that pretty much wraps it up for the syllabus. If you have any questions about this stuff, feel free to ask me on Wednesday when we show up and meet in person. So I'm going to switch over now and start another video on our online materials, and I look forward to meeting you all on Wednesday.